Hey guys, so it is Tuesday, the 24th of January, and maybe I am gonna have to hold this. Sometimes the volume doesn't work too well. As you can see behind me, I am at work. I haven't posted. I was really sad. I had a topic for Mommy Talk last week. I had a scripture for my devotional Thursday. I've been extremely busy at work, year end, and just all kinds of crazy stuff. But I wanted to do the Mommy Talk today, except for I realized, oh, I'm too busy to go home on lunch. So I thought, well, maybe on my lunch here at work, I can do it. So I have shut my door, which doesn't shut all the way. I have this big old gigantic window that I shut, but that's not going to really make a difference because the door is stuck cracked. I still don't understand why I look so absolutely horrible when I record. So, anyways, I wanted to do a check in on a couple of things. So, for my goals, obviously, the consistency thing for these videos has kind of not went so well over the last week. But I still haven't smoked. So, those of you that care, that's an awesome thing. I'm almost a month in for that. I gave myself notes because we all know I get lost. I like to talk. So, let's see. Little Brandon had his first karate belt test on Sunday. Of course, he passed it because at that age, it's not really a matter of not being able to pass it. But so that was really cool that he got to do that and get his new belt with the yellow stripe. Let's see. Oh, so what I want to talk about today for the Mommy Talk, that's what this video is weight for children. Weight, like pounds. um, but there was two things that I wanted to talk about real quick before I start on that. And one was I thought it was really interesting because, they always say a lot of things you read and a lot of things people tell you is when you're trying to do something with your child, a good way to get them to do it, whether it's potty training or picking up their toys or whatever, is to do like a reward system. Well, Brandon's school to talk to me about this. And you know what they said actually makes a lot of sense. So, reward systems aren't really a good thing in the long run because then the child relates doing what they're supposed to do by getting a reward. So, if you don't give them a reward, then they learn that they are supposed to do the right thing or do normal things because they're supposed to. Because as they get older, if they realize, oh, well, I'm not going to get anything for this, then it's kind of like a subconscious thing. I'm trying to find the right lighting. It's a subconscious thing that, like, oh, well, I'm not getting anything for this, so why should I even bother doing it? So I thought that that was some interesting piece of information to share. I don't think I said that on my first Mommy Talk video. But you guys, I keep spinning around because I'm trying to like get away from the crack in the door. Yet the lighting on me is absolutely horrible. And we know I don't like to do editing. The other thing is I think when we had talked the last time on Mommy Talk, it was about, God, I hope the recording for my video is working. It was about like being consistent and outrageous, crazy 4-year-old behaviors. So I wanted to share with you guys that on Saturday we were out most of the day, and little Brandon didn't take a nap until really late. I think it was like 4:30, 5 o'clock before he crashed out in the car. But we were going to a birthday party for one of Big Brandon's friends, and so we woke him up. He hadn't finished his nap, and normally we can kind of deal with that, but on this night, that's not how it went. He was extremely overly emotional. Every time a kid didn't want to play with him or didn't answer him or didn't do what he wanted, he just dropped to the floor crying. It was crazy. So one of Big Brandon's friends gave little Brandon some money to get a toy at some point. But so we decided when we left to take Brandon and get a toy. We were in Target. He out of nowhere disappeared. We couldn't find him for what seemed like a really, really long time. Eventually, Big Brandon found him hiding in the grocery section, opening the toy he picked out. So Brandon took the toy away from him, picked him up. We took him out of the store. He was screaming, crying. I was trying to strap him into his car seat, and he was like reaching for Target, screaming, "No, don't leave Target!" And it was the funniest, but yet totally not funny thing in the entire world. So we have actually got his behavior a lot more under control than it was when I talked to you guys the last time. But that was crazy. That was like one of those situations where you just want to look at a parent and be like, I totally understand. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go for our weight for kids. I really hope you guys can hear me. So I printed this thing and it's off of a website that you guys, if you want, you should really check out. It's really neat. It's called kidshealth.org. It has all kinds of different stuff, not just on health, but I mean, they even have like little charts if you want to do daily chore charts, behavior charts. Like it has all kinds of different stuff that's really neat. But so I wanted to share with you guys that at the age of 4, general average weight for a 4-year-old should be 40 pounds and 40 inches tall. So little Brandon is, well, a couple weeks ago, I hope he's lost weight, but a few weeks ago, well, about a month, I think about a month ago, he was at 62 pounds and he just turned 4. So he is completely off the charts for his weight. We always kind of knew he was big, and every time we'd go to the doctors, it would get brought up about his weight, but nothing really serious. It was just like, oh, well, you guys should kind of, watch what you're feeding him. And they say that they don't want you to put a child on a diet. They want you to sustain their weight so as they grow taller, their weight evens out. For Brandon, he seems to be not growing as not growing tall as quick as he's growing wide, I guess. But so he had cavities. I am really bad with the dentist for myself, so of course I'm not that great for him. So I did not take him to the dentist until he was almost 4, pretty much. And of course, then they found cavities, but one cavity that was pretty bad. And either way, because he talks in his sleep and he moves around in his sleep, they said that the only way they would work on his teeth is to IV sedate him, which sounds pretty scary, but I mean, I get it. Um, so they were going to IV sedate him and do all the work that he needed done on his teeth at that point in time. So, of course, I had to figure out how to arrange between the coverage for the insurance and then what we were going to have to pay and how we were going to do that. And so I finally got that taken care of. And the day came, I took him in, and the doctor lady that actually does the anesthesia, said that he was too big. He weighed too much. He was carrying the weight in a way that she did not feel okay with sedating him in the dentist office. So at that point, I was like, wow, this is a big problem. So I started on my own. I also knew that I had about, I think, 2 weeks after that, I had his 4-year checkup scheduled. And so I knew that he had went to the doctors for like an ear infection, I think about 6 months before this, and he was at like 52 pounds or something. So basically he had gained something like 10 pounds within like 6 months. And that was just really, really, really crazy to me. So at this point I decided, oh my gosh, I'm going to hear it from the doctor. I don't know, what do I do? Okay, let's figure this out. So this is actually like 3 months ago, I think, is when all this stuff kind of happened. But so we signed him up for karate. He does a lot of running around at school, and then we've also put him in a extracurricular like exercise class that they offer at his preschool. It's only once a week, but so he does that. He does his karate. until it started raining, we were trying to practice letting him go outside and run around. We live in an apartment and not the greatest of areas, so I don't really like to go outside or to take him or let him play outside, but we were trying to kind of work on that and do that so he was getting more exercise. Also, he eats like a grown man, like his plate sizes. He can eat an adult plate size of food. And he really likes, we call it chicken and rice, but it's actually ground meat, ground turkey and rice, and ground turkey and noodles. But whenever I would give him these things, I would give him a large amount of the carbs, so of the rice or the pasta or whatever. And so I started giving him just one big spoon, and I'm talking about like the cooking spoons, like the big plastic spoon that you'd stir your pot with. I gave him one spoonful of rice or noodles, whatever the carb is, and then mostly meat. Um, and then I also started making sure there was a vegetable with his dinner. And as always, he would say he was hungry after eating or not eating his dinner and wanting to eat snacks. And I used to give in to that because it was just like I didn't want to deal with it. But I started saying, absolutely not. If you are hungry, you'll eat your food. And he transitioned rather well, but even still, once in a while, he'll just be in a mood and he'll throw his plate of food. So then, oh well, you don't get any more food. Um, so obviously, I'm not going to starve the kid. So I'll kind of try to work something out with him at some point after I get him kind of calmed down and out of that place. But I know he's picking up that he's not going to starve to death, and I'm not going to starve him. But I was also letting him eat late. So if we turn off the lights and the TV at 8:30 to put him to bed, he would be eating little bags of chips or fruit snacks at 8:15 at night to just have all this food sitting in his stomach when he would go to bed. So we stopped giving him stuff like that after dinner. If we end up having dinner rather early and going to bed a little later and he's hungry, then I'll offer him two choices, and they're a healthy choice. So it's usually like a string cheese or some apple slices or some green beans or something that's healthy. And I refuse to give him anything if he has not eaten his dinner and his vegetables that came with his dinner, because if he's hungry, he will eat those. It is not easy. It is rough, but it is extremely worth it because I had to start buying him size 8 in boys pants to fit him around the waist, which were a mile long on his legs. Just after 2 to 3 weeks of doing this, he now fits into pants that like I couldn't get them all the way over his butt, and then I couldn't get them buttoned it at all. Like there was no, not even stretching it to the max. There was just absolutely no way that these pants would be buttoned or zipped. And now he's fitting in those a little snug, but he can wear them. Um, so I know that I'm on the right track. And then when I checked in with the doctor for his 4-year checkup, they did say they brought up his weight, and the doctor said though that he was very proud of me for on my own taking the initiative and the things that I'm doing, that I'm sticking to it. So I know from the doctor that I'm doing the right thing also, and there's not really much else for me to do. So yeah. Again, I don't have very many people watching my videos, and that's fine. But if there is anybody, you do have any comments or questions, please put them down there because then it'll make it a lot easier and more interactive for me when I do these videos. I really hope to see you guys on Thursday and do my devotional. I will really try to get one in at some point this week somehow. So thank you as always for watching with me, and good luck with your parenting. And again, kidshealth.org is a really good place to just get information or little charts and stuff. Okay, have a great rest of your week, guys.